All right. Hi guys, my name is Kelly Stair and I'm your presenter, and this is a webinar on discussion engagement. My book is Voice Read for Digital Education, which you can find from clicking this, and my website is angrybunnypublishing.com. I have lots of resources, and you can find the videos of all of the webinars that I'm doing for Connected Educators Month on there as soon as they are done. So let's go ahead and get started. Discussions. Give me a smiley face if you've used Poll Everywhere before. Frowny face if no. Smiles, yay! Okay. So Poll Everywhere is a polling tool that you can use to create your own polls. It's similar to SurveyMonkey if you've used SurveyMonkey, although SurveyMonkey is more of an email poll. Um, Sorry, that's okay. We're actually going to do one together. And so I'm going to click this link. Polls are great when you are discussing things for multiple reasons, but for this one, this is a discussion starter. So I'm going to click this and we're going to go to a new website. Hey, can you guys see that new website? No. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on just a sec. Uh, share, whoops, share my screen. Yep, share full screen. Okay, in just a second it's going to pop up. There we go. All right, so we'll go to that site. Boom, right there. Okay, now can you see the poll? Yes, awesome. Okay, it's interesting, my chat moved off to the side. All right, so this is a poll that I had with my freshmen when we were reading Romeo and Juliet. And this is one class's response. As you can see, they have a statement that they either agree or disagree with. Okay, so it's I would rather die than betray or dishonor my family. Okay, this is the percentage of students who strongly agree, somewhat disagree, strongly disagree. And I strongly suggest that you never put a middle option like an I don't know. Always make them choose. Otherwise, you get a whole bunch of I don't knows and they move on. So make them choose. Make it tricky. Make it a thought process. I'm going to start the poll by clicking off to the side, and you'll see this is how students have answered the poll. So here's my poll slide. They use their cell phones, or they can use if they have computers in the classroom, you can go to the website and you can use a browser. So you text the code 37607, and then in your message you put one of these to answer. And as students do it, if you guys want to do it right now, I know you're on your phone, so that's a little bit tricky. I will actually, I will do one so that you can see it move. So, Lev, see it pop on up. You guys can continue chatting. I can still see what you're what you're thinking, I guess. It's nice to back channel through that. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I got the main page. One more time. There we go. All right, so from a browser, it looks like I get those codes. So 37607. Okay, so we go 37607. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't need to do that. It's been a while. Sorry. So if I strongly agree that I would rather die than betray or dishonor my family, I want to put this code in to the poll F. So 879585. 879,585. And I submit it. And in just a second, you will see this expand. Okay. It's a really, really cool thing when students see their answers immediately pop up on a poll. It's very, very fun. So that is Poll Everywhere. I'm going to bring this down and go back to my PowerPoint. Oh, okay. No, close. Okay, so that was an example poll. I'm sure you can imagine when kids have their cell phones and they get to use them for educational purposes, it's a very exciting thing. So here's some things that you can use polls for starting a discussion. You can use that poll, you can have students type in their answers, and then you can have them do either a think or a write pair share, where they think about their answers, think why they have that answer, pair up with somebody and talk about it, and then share as a whole class. You can also do it as writing prompts. For this one, I made my students write on this one. So they answered the poll, and then they got out their journals and they wrote for a few minutes about why they thought the way they did. Then they paired with a partner, and then they shared it out with the class. And that's how we started our discussion. So it gives students a chance to think about what we're going to be discussing before they jump right in. Another way you can do it is as a journal prompt. So if you have like an entrance card situation where kids come into class and they have a journal prompt on the board or a journal prompt on the overhead, this is a great way to prompt a journal discussion. And so not only will kids have the prompt itself, but they'll have other people's reactions to it. I know the biggest thing that when we did this particular one, kids said was, I can't believe that somebody said, and so it made them really want to justify their own answers. Polls are also great to start discussions in order to activate background knowledge. So you jump in with a poll that gets kids thinking about whatever it is you're going to be discussing. And so you kind of activate that background knowledge, and it helps them with their discussions. Remember, you guys, if you want to use the chat to ask questions or anything, go for it. So here's some things that you can do with polls. In addition to starting a discussion, you can do writing prompts within the discussions. So you can have multiple polls within a discussion and do writing prompts with each one. You can signal topic changes in discussions. So you want to discuss 3 different things. They all kind of have to do with each other, but you want kids to kind of move in a different direction. You can choose from divergent discussion paths based on student choice. So let's say you're talking about this idea of betrayal, and you have 3 different directions it could go. You could set up a poll so that you say, okay, where do you want to go with this discussion? And so students can vote, and you can see where the majority of your students want to go with the discussion. You can identify perspectives and conversation directions. So you can get an idea of how many people in your class think a certain way, or what direction a discussion might go to benefit the most people. And even though it's unanimous or anonymous, sorry, it's anonymous, they actually you'll know who said what, because students will go, that's mine, and you go, oh, you think this. And so it's anonymous, but at the same time you'll know a little bit about who said what. You can also brainstorm ideas before you start speaking with your discussion. So there's a poll that lets you have open-ended answers, and so you can say, what do you guys think about this? And then they can text in their answers, and it pops up on the poll sheet, so you get to see all kinds of different answers. So it's a nice way to brainstorm. And finally, you can wrap up a discussion with audience opinions. So you have this whole discussion, it takes the class, and then you say, all right, guys, so what did you think about this? Where did you end up in your thinking? And you can wrap up the discussion that way, kind of like an exit card. Okay? Any questions about Poll Everywhere or things that you can do with it? Any other ideas about things you can do with it? I'm just looking at the chat right now. No? hear some typing, so I'm going to wait. No? Okay, well, our next discussion tool will actually let you ask those questions if you're interested. So, give me a smiley face or a frowny face if you have used Today's Meet before. If you've used Today's Meet, smiley face in the chat. If you have not used Today's Meet, frowny face in the chat. Oh boy, lost my chatters. All right, so Today's Meet is our second discussion tool. Oops, sorry. Today's Meet creates a back channel. If you don't know what a back channel is, a back channel is a discussion that is held outside of the main discussion. So the easiest way to think of back channels is to think, you know how you're in a lecture and someone's talking and you turn to the person next to you and you have a little conversation about the topics, but the presenter doesn't hear you? That's a back channel. Today's Meet lets you record those back channels and all the different discussions that can go on that really help accentuate and diversify a lecture or a discussion. So as one person is talking, you might have another conversation going on over here and another conversation going on over here. And teaching kids to stay focused on those conversations is a 21st century skill. So that focused, you can have a discussion that relates to the topic and then maybe raise your hand and share it. That's a big skill. So we're going to go to this Today's Meet and do a little back channel discussion. And I'm going to pop that up, and then I'm going to go to, actually you'll need to go to it also. Do you have a way to get to Today's Meet in order to share? Can you open up a new browser? I'm sorry, a new browser. A new tab on your browser? Okay, so if you can open up a new tab on your browser, todaysmeet.com/angrybunny is our discussion. So I'm going to put my name in there, and then I'm going to ask you a question. Let's see. I'll keep it focused. How could you use back channels in your teaching? Okay, then I click say, and it starts my discussion. Yay! Spelling races. I never thought of that. That is excellent. Oh, what a great idea. Of course, it's also typing races as well. I can see spelling races getting out of control. I didn't mean that letter. I hit the wrong key. Yes, working in groups to solve problems. Excellent. Yeah, it's crazy. Ah, although typing, it's an important skill as well. I've had so many kids hit say, I entered my name, joined, but don't see anything on the screen. Okay. So what you want to do, Alana, is you want to go where it says message. Actually, one thing that you need to do is make sure that you are at Angry Bunny. So it's todaysmeet.com/angrybunny. Yep, that's the one. Oh, that's from Jill. Thank you, Jill. Ah, there you go. Yes, Today's Meet does sometimes backlog, and so just keep hitting the refresh button. Excellent. And so go ahead and type in a message there, something that you could do with a back channel. It's really great. You have this on your projector, and you have like this discussion going on behind you or beside you or with you, and so everybody gets a chance to talk. It's great. discuss sensitive topics without being in front of the class. Excellent. Yeah, any kind of discussion can benefit from a back channel. And it's really easy to set up. All you have to do is go to todaysmeet.com without anything behind it, and you name your room, and as long as the name hasn't been taken, it's yours. And then you just log into that particular room. Oops, my bad. Right? On a computer choose can be kept private. Yes, yes you can. Working adult graduate students. Good question. So, are they in a class together or are they working online? Alana. Face to face. So any discussion that you have, um, you can have a back channel so that other people can talk at the same time. So for example, let's say we have 10 people in this meeting right now. Just like the chat on the side of this AnyMeeting lets you ask questions and share resources and say things that you need to say. I can get your feedback. That's a back channel. So the chat log in this meeting is a back channel. Today's Meet is one that you can set up without having to have any other software involved. It is simple, it is web-based, and you set it up for a week. You can hold on to it. Oh, it so limits classroom chatter because you say anything that you want to say, you type in or you text in to Today's Meet. It's also really great for people to ask questions without you having to answer them right away. Like I get really so they don't interrupt your lecture. I get really distracted when people are asking questions and talking, and I've always got that one kid that right when I'm getting to the good part, he's like, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And I'm like, "Seriously? I stopped my lecture for you to ask me that." And so it eliminates that idea that oh Jill, it eliminates that distraction because I can see what the question is before I answer it. Sometimes you're doing a lecture or a discussion and you know you're getting there, and if somebody just holds on a minute, it'll be there. And so it's a really great way to kind of back channel that. I'm getting off of the discussions and onto the lectures because that was brought up, but for lectures it's amazing. Um, and if somebody wants to say something, like for example, if somebody has a joke that they want to say, they can say it on the Today's Meet, and we can all laugh together and then move on without it being like a big disrupting thing where they're like holding their hand up and you're like, wait a minute, hold on. So it's really nice. It might take a little bit of time to get used to having all of that information coming at you. But once you get used to it, like I love it. I love having back channels going on because then I know exactly what everybody is thinking in the class. And I don't have students that will sit through an entire 20-minute lecture and then say, yeah, I didn't really understand what you said when you defined that term at the very beginning, so I didn't get that lecture. And you're like, seriously? So it's a really great way to just kind of keep tabs and let kids ask questions, and I can choose whether to answer that question immediately or to just hold it until I'm ready to answer it. So back channels are fantastic for discussions. I'm going to go ahead and go back and finish. Oops. I got to move that. I'm going to go back and finish the PowerPoint. Let me make sure. There we go. All right, so that's back channels. Oh my. Easy iTunes. Sorry. So go to the next slide. What can you do with back channels? These are just some ideas. I love the idea of spelling challenges or like speed questions. It would be awesome. Um, Here's some things that I have that I do with back channels. You can give all students time to think. So you've got your deep thinkers who need to sit and wait for a while before they answer questions. It gives them time to think. And then you've got your quick thinkers who have to answer immediately or their brain goes somewhere else and they can't remember what they were going to say. works for both of those. You can also engage all students simultaneously. I don't know if you've ever had a really big class, but I had a class of 38 AP kids. And when we had discussions, it was a nightmare because having 38 kids all focused on what one kid is saying, even at the AP level, it's horrible. And so, I mean, you might be 38th to get to speak, and you're never going to remember what you were going to say. So this gives a chance for everybody to answer right at the same time. It also eliminates the kid that has to be the first to answer. There's always one of those in a class. I have to answer first. Right now, call on me, crazy hands up in the air. Well, crazy hands can get their fingers on the keyboard and text in what they need to say so that they have that, I've been heard feeling. You can also preview ideas before discussing with the whole group. So if I ask a question and I say, give me your feedback on this, I can check and see what people are thinking and then choose who gets to share their ideas with the whole class. So instead of the kid that's going to say something that's kind of silly or off topic or banal, I've got the kid that has really thought about it and has a great answer, and that's where we can jump off with our discussion. You give all students a voice, even the shy ones. I've had so many kids that they just don't like talking in front of people, and it can kind of be a gateway to have a back channel. So you give the student a voice. They get to type in what they want to say instead of having to say it out loud. And if they say something great, I can praise them for it and say, hey, would you like to share more of that out loud? It's a great way to involve quiet, shy students. You can also carry on multiple conversations at once. And I know that sometimes as teachers that is a bad thing. We think, oh, no, 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 we can't have more than one conversation. But think of the last time that you went to a lecture or you were watching a movie or you had some kind of input coming at you and you just had to share something that you were thinking. Those conversations get recorded and so we can go to them. Plus, if somebody has some great connection or insight, I know about it and then I can say, ooh, that's a great place to go next. And so it lets you, yes, carry on multiple conversations, but it helps you stay engaged too. So you're not just listening to other people and not getting to think for yourself. I've had today's meets where there are so many conversations, that class of 38, for example, there's so many conversations going on that it's a little bit disconcerting until you go back and break it down and say, oh, wow, look at all this. You'll have two kids arguing back and forth and finding text examples and all kinds of stuff, and you're like, whoa, mind blown. So back channels let kids do that and let them carry on those conversations. You also have a transcript of all the back channel conversations, so you can go to the bottom of today's meet and click transcript, and whatever has been discussed will copy as a web page. You can also print it out if you want. And so you have those conversations forever, as long as you save them. Another great thing, I talked about it already, but students can provide URLs for sources of additional information. And so if you're like, oh my gosh, you've got to check out this, website that I found that's about this topic, they can type the URL in and then other kids can go to it immediately and check it out and they can have conversations about that. Okay, so those were my two discussion engagement tools. For really enhancing and livening up and engaging kids in discussions. My name is Kelly Stair. I'm a writer and teacher consultant, and if you like the presentation, VoiceThread for Digital Education is available at Smashwords. That's my ebook, just published, so happy. You can use the coupon code ND26A for 40% off all the way through the end of October, because it's Connected Educators Month. And you can feel free to share that coupon with other teachers on your Facebook page, your Twitter account. Share it, send it around. Sounds great to me. And then if you don't have an e-reader, Adobe Digital Editions is free and it's excellent. So are there any questions that you would like to ask before we wrap it up? None here? Thank you. All right. Sounds fantastic. I will be posting this as both the PowerPoint and the video to my website, which is angrybunnypublishing.com. Feel free to go there. If you go to events, you can find all of the other digital workshops, and you'll find a link to this workshop that you attended. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.